Now, most home security cameras usually make you choose a wide view so you can see everything but lose the details, or a zoomed in shot that misses the bigger picture. Today we're going to look at a camera that can do both. The Reolink TrackMix PoE gives you both views at once, a wide angle and a close-up, while automatically tracking movement across its entire 360 degrees of coverage area. Hi there neighbors, I'm Ryan the Tech Guy and welcome back to This Smart House, your destination for the coolest smart home gear and the best in smart automations. So today we're going to take a quick look at the TrackMix PoE by Reolink. This is a 4K security camera with dual sensors and intelligent AI-powered tracking that can give you a ton of flexibility in keeping your home safe. One of the great advantages of a camera like this is the fact that you can put it on the corner of a house and it can track a much wider area. So let's take a look at the various cameras in the lineup. So before we dive into all the details, here's the TrackMix lineup, because the version that you pick matters here. So today's focus is going to be the PoE, or Power over Ethernet. This allows you to have power and data over one single cable. This is a rock-solid connection, and the camera has 4K resolution. Next up, we have the Wi-Fi version. This has the same 4K quality on the wide sensor, but has wireless convenience with Wi-Fi 6. Of course, this one you'll have to externally power, meaning you'll have to run AC lines somewhere close to it. Then we got the battery version, which gives you the option of either taking the camera down periodically to charge, or adding a solar panel to leave it up all the time. The only caveat here is that wide angle drops down to a 2K resolution. And then finally we have the LTE version. Very similar to the Wi-Fi, but it also has an LTE chip on board, meaning it can work anywhere that you have cell coverage, also in 4K. But all of them have the same dual sensors and tracking tech on board. But we'll get into that here in a minute. The PoE version we're looking at today gives you the most stable and always-on connection for more serious setups. Plus, you only have to run one single cable, which is really nice. Now, first impressions of this camera is it's solid. It's IP65 weatherproof, meaning it can take most any weather. And it's rated for 14 degrees Fahrenheit up to 131. Now, I assume this is going to work just fine in colder temperatures, because I haven't had any other issues with my other Reolink cameras with the same rating, but we'll have to see this winter. Now for the build quality, there's a metal core for strength, but a plastic housing to keep it reasonable and lightweight. Installation is pretty straightforward if you already have PoE. One single cable handles power, video, and control. There's no separate adapter and no Wi-Fi setup. Now if you don't have PoE, you'll need to add an injector or a PoE switch, plus the cost of running the cable to the location. So make sure you check that before you purchase. Now for mounting, it has an integrated mount that works for both wall and under eave installations. It even comes with a handy template for drilling your holes. Also in the box is the weatherproofing needed for the Ethernet cable. Now I installed mine under the eave on the corner of my garage. From here it can watch my driveway, my front yard, my front door, and even the corner of the house. I did have to install it a bit higher than the recommended height, but it works for me. If you do install it this tall, you might run into some recognition issues with the onboard AI, but you can tweak that in the settings. Now with most pan-tilt zoom cameras, you have to choose between an overview or detail. The TrackMix says, why not both? The wide sensor covers 104 degrees in crisp 4K. The telephoto sensor records at only 1080p HD, but it's perfectly synced with the wide view. That means when somebody walks through, you'll get both context and close-up detail at the same time. For reviewing incidents later, this is a big deal, so you're not guessing what happened outside the zoom frame. Now if you are reviewing footage in the app, you might notice there's a slight delay between the zoomed in version and the wide angle. But when you export it, that's all synced up. Now an innovation we've seen on a lot of cameras these days is auto tracking. And having it built in onboard is awesome. But where this camera has an advantage is the fact that it won't just chase shadows, cars, or windblown branches. You can designate the AI to tell the difference between people, vehicles, and pets. Or if you want to track everything, you can have it track every vehicle that drives by. You also get adjustments for the pan speed, whether you want it to snap to movement instantly or track smoothly, and you can set patrol routes and a home position. Now the hybrid system works with digital zooming, and then will physically move the camera if needed. This way it can react a little bit faster than traditional pan-tilt zoom. Now the app gives you tons of flexibility. You can set up detection zones that let you ignore the swaying tree or your neighbor's driveway. You can adjust sensitivity and object size so you're not getting spammed by every squirrel in the yard, but you can still pick up if a dog runs through or something larger. When it does trigger, you get to select from push notifications, emails, or even trigger the built-in siren or spotlight on the camera. Now one thing to note, the detection zone settings only work in the home position. So if the camera gets moved, these zones aren't active. But not to worry, the camera will snap back to its home position automatically after a customizable amount of time. Now of course this wouldn't be a good security camera without great night performance. So you have the option of using either infrared for black and white, or use the spotlights for color up to about 100 feet. The colors actually look pretty natural and not blown out. And you can schedule the lights so they're not blasting at 2 a.m. You can have the spotlights stay on all the time, react to an object, or stay off altogether. You also have the ability to have two-way communication using the onboard microphone and speaker on the camera. The Reolink app is pretty responsive. The pan and tilt commands move pretty fast, and the dual screen playback is pretty smooth. You've also got quick toggles for lights and a siren. You can also share access, set automation rules, and use Google Assistant or Alexa. Unfortunately, HomeKit isn't supported right now, but they do have a great Home Assistant integration that gives you full control over everything from notifications to recording and even camera movement right from your Home Assistant dashboard. Meaning you can set up schedules and automations to automatically trigger different commands on your camera. Now, one of the things I love about the Reolink cameras is the flexibility in storage. For storage, you can use a micro SD card inside the camera up to 256 gigabytes. You can also use one of the Reolink NVRs or their new home hubs. You also have the options of an FTP server or a NAS. And recording can be set up to be continuous, motion only, detection only, or scheduled. And you can choose whether you want it to override old clips or stop when full. Plus there's some other fun features like the ability to do a time lapse based on different parameters. So if you want to watch a crowd or the clouds go by, you can set that up in the app. So to sum things up, the PoE version of the TrackMix comes in retail around $170, but regularly you'll see it around 140 US. So with that, you're going to get a 4K wide view, dual sensors, intelligent tracking, AI alerts for people, animals, and vehicles, a weatherproof build, and power over Ethernet convenience. Enterprise PTZ cameras with this flexibility can cost thousands. And even a basic 4K fixed camera can't do what this one does, and it's not that much cheaper than this camera. So I really feel you're getting a great deal for the price. Don't let yourself get turned off by the PoE installation either. It's actually quite easy, and if you get one of the Reolink NVRs, they have a built-in switch which will provide the power that you need. All you have to do is run an Ethernet cable from the camera to the NVR. There are also a lot of other options with injecting power over Ethernet if you need that. I've done some previous videos on working with PoE, so if you want to check that out, I've got a link up here above. So what are some of the downsides? Well, a zoom sensor is only 1080p, not 4K. Plus there's no optical zoom, just digital. Meaning every time you zoom in, you lose resolution. And also for my Apple folks, no HomeKit support. Plus, if you don't already have PoE, there's some extra setup and cost. Tracking is better than most, but some complicated scenes with multiple moving objects could still throw it off and you might miss something in the zoomed in version. Or the camera might track something one way while what you really care about goes the other way. But that's pretty standard for any type of tracking. Now overall, I believe the TrackMix PoE delivers on its promise. Intelligent dual sensor tracking without a big price tag. So for anyone who needs reliable, detailed coverage, it's an easy recommendation. Especially installed in the corners of a home or business. This allows you to cover a much wider area and possibly not need an additional camera. So if you are interested in picking up one of these cameras, all I ask is you use the links down in the description and give the video a like. That goes a long way to help the channel and shows Reolink that you got solid information from this video. A big thank you goes out to Reolink for sending over this camera and all the other gear and cameras that I'm going to be testing out over the next few months. Now if you have any questions on the camera or if I missed something, please leave a comment below. I do try to answer every question that I get. Like I mentioned, I've got a ton more Reolink videos coming up this year, from new cameras to using their new home hubs with Home Assistant. So make sure you're subscribed for more great videos. Now, if you're interested in a home security camera and already have a floodlight installed, check out my video on the Reolink Elite floodlight over here. Or if you want to know how to set up your Reolink NVR and connect it to Home Assistant, check out a video right over here. Thank you for making it this far, and I'll see you on the next video.